What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you my first review on Fairy Tail Zero, the anime. Here's the thing, as I said in my last review, I am a anime only. I read the manga Fairy Tail, but I have never read the manga of Fairy Tail Zero. I know some of the backbone concepts of Fairy Tail Zero, but majority of the content throughout this entire episode, actually all of the content, I didn't even know what was going to happen, and gotta say, this episode was very enjoyable just for that reason alone. Just being able to walk into this episode and not really even knowing what's going to happen, and getting characterization for a character that we've known for quite a while that I didn't know nothing about when it came to her past. Now, Mavis, let's talk about her. The main focus of Fairy Tail Zero is talking about her past and the founding of Fairy Tail. That's kind of the information I know of when it comes to Fairy Tail Zero. And because of this, we get to see a little bit of her childhood and how she lived when she was younger. The thing is majority of this episode is spent with showing what type of life she lived. For instance, how cruel her life was, and how she always continued to smile where she didn't cry. She didn't let her emotions get to her, and she, tried to hold back, her sadness and always try to be happy before she can meet some form of fairy. And because of this, you really have to say you're gonna feel bad for her throughout this entire episode. I mean, when you saw these grown adults just picking on her, and in that one scene where they take away Mavis's shoes from her, and then they give these shoes to the daughter, and the daughter's like, I don't want this, it has bacteria in it. And he's like, you need to throw those away. And they were thrown out, even though Mavis could have used them. It's very fucked up. Like, majority of this episode, besides, the happy and not so stuff that was actually slightly filler, setting up for, the upcoming arc of Fairy Tail Zero, the entire episode, it pissed me off. Not because it was bad, I was just pissed off because of how they treated Mavis. It was just so disgusting. It was so disgusting. Like, I was disgusted. I mean, because the reason why I'm disgusted, because there is people like that in this world. There is fucking people in this world that do that type of shit, and it really pisses me off. Like, if there's anything that pisses me off, it's something like that. And just seeing how Mavis was being treated like that, and she was pretty much like a slave to them. I mean, that's the best way to look at it. She was pretty much a slave, and that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. I mean, her parents died, they take her in, I mean, she had to sleep in a damn barn on hay and shit, and then they didn't even give her shoes to keep her warm when she's walking through the fucking forest at that. And then on top of this, I mean, the way they were treating her, like, picking her up, holding her like she was, and she looked like she's been beat as like a punching bag. It's disgusting. I'm really sickened by that guild right there. Like, I'm so glad, to be honest, they were fucking killed off. They deserve it. I'm sorry. That right there, I'm just glad Hiro Mashima, at the very least, knows he needed to kill these bastards off, because that was disgusting. Now, talking about the girl, okay? The little child, the little girl, Izera Zena, whatever her fucking name is. I know she's a child, okay? Children, they're pretty fucking messed up. And when they're young, they're very messed up. They don't realize the entire scope of what they are doing. But it's still fucked up along the lines. Even a child at that age has their own moral line. They kind of know exactly what is good and not. And because of what I saw, honestly, I don't feel bad at all for the girl's death. I don't. I feel no emotion of sadness for that little girl's death at the end. I don't know if she is dead, because judging by the opening song, it looks like she is alive, or some form of sister or something like that. I could be wrong, but I don't feel any sadness for that girl's death if she is in fact dead, because personally, the way she treated Mavis, it just wasn't right. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of characters that, start off as a fucking asshole like she was doing, and then just, turning to good. I've just never been a big fan of that character type a lot. I'm fine with it sometimes, but I'm not a big fan of it. So seeing how that was done, I'm like, okay, GG, good. Just, let's move on. Let's get to, some interesting characters like Warrod and stuff. Oh my god, we're getting to see fucking Warrod young. He doesn't look like a damn tree trunk. I mean, he actually looks like a human fucking being. So yeah, I mean, this episode of Fairy Tail Zero, pretty awesome. Yeah, it was a really good episode. I was enjoying it. I was very entertained throughout the entire episode, regardless of me being pissed off with these certain characters that were just picking on Mavis. I was very, very entertained. Like, I was entertained the entire time of this episode. So, Fairy Tail Zero did its job. Talking about the opening song, however, the opening song, I like it, yeah. I feel like they put a lot more animation into that opening song than they did normal like episodes or other openings of Fairy Tail, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's always been something like that when it comes to A1 Pictures and Fairy Tail. When it comes to slightly filler arcs, which I know Fairy Tail ain't filler, I know it's not, but when it comes to slightly filler or something that's not focused on the core main story at that time, usually they pump in that extra budget. I've noticed that quite a bit. I mean, look at the filler arc that we had in the season before the Tartarus arc. There was some episodes that looked absolutely beautiful, and it just goes to show you, A1, they love putting that quality animation or art sometimes in these type of episodes. But that's about it. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.